Tomorrow will mark 4 years since a huge 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked North Canterbury. As well as severely damaging homes and roads, it left some hill country farms in the area with up to 40% of their land unusable. 4 years on, sheep and beef farmers are finding new ways to work. Rural reporter Maja Burry and cameraman Nate McKinnon have the story.
At 2 minutes past midnight on November 14th, 2016, a massive quake struck North Canterbury. 4 years on, time has helped heal the land on Henry and Olivia Pinckney's sheep and beef farm near Waio, but evidence of the event is still clearly visible. Cracks cut into paddocks and big slips stick out like scabs on the hillsides. Mr Pinckney says the quake changed the landscape significantly.
Yeah, it was pretty bewildering, just trying to take stock and just to drive around in shock, I suppose. Yeah, it was just trying to fathom it all. It was everything was a bit different and there was obviously a lot of work in front of us.
Over the last 4 years, the Pinckneys have been busy fixing fences, tracks and planting natives to stabilise the land. They're also part of a post-quake farming group made up of industry representatives, local council and experts, which was set up to help farmers explore what future long-term uses the land might have.
Probably made us realise that it's not always going to be plain sailing, so we might have to get ourselves in a better position. Yeah, and we see that all the time. With COVID this year, there's always something that's going to create challenges, and so just trying to look long term, I suppose.
Mr Pinckney says as part of diversifying the farm business, they've been looking at forestry and sheep milking. He's starting to build up his flock of dairy sheep and sees big potential in the industry.
It's got a huge opportunity in reducing the nutrient footprint on a lot of intensive farms, which is quite promising these days, and slightly lower greenhouse gas footprint. And it allows us to hopefully market a product based around the credentials of the land and target the high and premium end of product and actually get some recognition for the way in which we farm.
About an hour east is Tim and Sue Anderson's Conway Flat farm. Mr Anderson says while they got off much lighter than others, the event served as a reminder about how vulnerable farming communities are to all the elements.
It changed all our lives, yeah. We were probably one of the more fortunate ones. We didn't lose our house, we lost a few other things, and our landscape changed. Major slips and cracks in the landscape and tracks closing and dams forming in creeks. But there was some horrendous damage in North Canterbury.
Mr Anderson says the support that emerged post-quake has helped advance a massive project to place 200 hectares of regenerating bush on their land into a covenant, requiring 6 kilometres of deer fencing.
It's a big milestone. It's probably the single biggest thing I've done in my 55 years farming in one go. But we've been lucky to have support, and I'm lucky my family got behind me.
Post-quake farming project manager Michael Bennett says agri-tourism and horticulture were also options being explored by some properties. A new report by Plant and Food Research has identified some areas have the right conditions for growing apples and grapes. He says the initiative has kick-started a lot of good thinking amongst farmers.
I mean, time will tell, right? But the reality is, I think what we've shown in this project is that there's a lot of scope in the land resource in the hill and high country in New Zealand, and not so long ago it was just considered to be a grazing unit. And I think now people are realising it's a lot more than just a grazing unit. There's all kinds of stuff you can potentially do.
Michael Bennett hopes this will help make farms in the area stronger and more resilient to future challenges. For Checkpoint, Maja Burry.